Imagine waking up one morning and being told that your voice doesn't count, that your future, your job, your children's education, the price of food, and the laws that govern your life, you have no say in any of it. For decades, that was the reality for most Jamaicans. Before 1944, voting was a privilege, not a right. It was reserved for the wealthy, the powerful, the landowners. If you were poor, if you were black, if you were a woman, you were locked out of the system. And yet today, thousands of Jamaicans choose not to vote. In 2020, over 60% of registered voters stayed home on election day. 60%. What would the people who fought, bled, and died for this right say if they saw us throwing it away? How did we even get this right in the first place? And why should you care? Stick with me, because by the time we're done, you'll understand that your vote is more powerful than you ever realized. The battle for the ballot. Jamaica's history with voting rights is one of exclusion and control. For centuries, the British colonial rulers made sure that only a select few had the power to vote. The wealthy landowners, many of them white, were the ones calling the shots. In the 19th century, the laws were designed to keep the working class and black Jamaicans out of politics. You needed to own property or have a certain level of wealth to even qualify to vote. What did that mean? It meant the majority of the country, farmers, fishermen, domestic workers, factory laborers, had zero political power, and the people were getting fed up. The spark. Jamaica's great labor unrest. Everything changed in 1938. It started in the sugar fields of Frome, Westmoreland. The sugarcane workers were paid starvation wages. They worked long, brutal hours under the hot sun, while their British employers made massive profits. One day, they'd had enough. They stopped working. They demanded fair wages. And the response? The police opened fire. 4 men were killed. Dozens were injured. But instead of silencing the people, the violence ignited a fire. The strikes spread. Kingston, St. Anne, Clarendon, St. James. The entire island was in revolt. Thousands of workers walked off the job. Buses and taxis stopped running. Even school teachers joined the fight. And in the midst of this, 2 powerful voices emerged, Norman Manley and Alexander Bustamante. They saw what was happening. And they knew that unless the people had political power, nothing would change. The fight for better wages, better living conditions, and better opportunities all came back to one thing: the right to vote. The Moyne Commission, when Britain was forced to listen. The British government saw the chaos unfolding in Jamaica and panicked. They launched an investigation, the Moyne Commission, to figure out why people were so angry. The report was damning. It revealed the extreme poverty, the lack of political rights, and the deep inequalities Jamaicans were facing. The British government had no choice. Under immense pressure, they agreed to major political reforms, and in 1944, Jamaica's first Universal Adult Suffrage election was held. For the first time in history, every Jamaican over 21 could vote, no matter their color, gender, or financial status. It was a victory, but the fight was far from over. But was it really a victory? One might think that after such a long struggle, Jamaicans would cherish their right to vote. But decades later, we face a new challenge: voter apathy. Many Jamaicans today believe nothing will change. Politicians don't care about us. My one vote doesn't matter. But here's the truth. When you don't vote, you give away your power. When you do vote, you help decide your future. Our ancestors fought for this right. If we don't use it, we are failing them. And history has proven, when power is left in the hands of the few, the people suffer. Bonus facts, unforgettable moments in Jamaica's voting history. Fact 1. The first election with universal suffrage. Over 500,000 Jamaicans registered to vote in 1944. The first winner, Alexander Bustamante's JLP, narrowly defeated Norman Manley's PNP. Fact 2. Women's first vote. Before 1944, women had no political power. But on election day, thousands of women stood in long lines, voting for the first time. Fact 3. The lowest voter turnout. Despite having the right to vote, only 37% of Jamaicans turned out in 2020, the lowest in history. Fact 4. The first independent Jamaica election. Jamaica officially gained independence in 1962, and for the first time, Jamaicans voted as a free nation, choosing their own destiny. Your vote is your power. Jamaica's struggle for voting rights wasn't just history. It was a fight for you, for your right to be heard, for your right to shape your country, for your right to demand change. Every vote is a voice. Every election is a chance. So, the next time an election is called, ask yourself, what would the people who fought for this right say if they saw you throw it away? Would they say you're honoring their sacrifice or wasting it? The choice is yours. But know this, every election, every vote, every single ballot counts. Use your power. Vote. Please subscribe to our channel today if you haven't already. You can also check out other videos on this channel, Impacting Jamaica. And remember, if you are 18 and over, get your name on the voters list and vote in Jamaica's next general election.